We're at Shellington for round 6 of the Tutor Money Super 1 British Karting Championships, close to the site of the first battle in the English Civil War at Edge Hill, just up the road from here. This weekend, roundheads of a different kind will be riding on horsepower of a different variety. Blood will not be shed, but there will be plenty of sweat and tears. First race up today is for IAME Cadet. The young man that joins me is Sam Shaw. Now, those of you that are fans of the virtual championship game online, you can catch up with the last round from here at Shellington that took place last week on the YouTube channel. It's one of the videos. You can have a look at that. Those of you that are fans of that may not recognise this young man necessarily, but you'll know him from winning this week, and he's the championship leader in the virtual championship on drop scores in the Cadet Championship. Sam Short, just talk us a little bit about the race this week. There was a little bit of an incident coming towards the end, apparently.
Yeah, well, I was going into a corner and then I just got a tap from behind and then ran out a bit wide, and then Josh just got past.
But Josh Heffernan, sure, going at it still.
He had a bumper, so I managed to take the win.
Yeah, I noticed you were just following him round, basically, where you didn't really... I think you overtook him, but you didn't really need to.
Yeah, I tried a couple of attempts and got past a couple of times, but then I just kind of tried to keep it safe because I knew he had a drop-down bumper.
OK, that's the virtual world, the virtual championship. And this weekend so far, you've had a win in one of the heats. Now, how is that virtual championship and that sim game helping you to drive? Obviously, it's incredibly realistic, isn't it? When you look at the circuits, it pretty much looks exactly like people will see today in the real world. How is that game helping you in your real driving?
Well, it gives you more experience driving, and you can practice the lines and practice everything and try to get used to tracks.
And then this weekend, as I say, we've had 2 heats so far. I've still got the pre-final to go. Where you finish that will determine where you start the final that we're about to see coming up. But as things stand at the moment, you've had 1 win in the heats. Then I think you've had a bit of a problem in the other heat.
Yeah, in the first heat, I was running in second, and then I got run a bit wide and hit one of the curbs, and then it burst the valve in the tyre, which gave me a puncture. So I finished last in that heat.
OK, well, good luck today. Be interesting to see how you go.
Yeah, thank you.
Another driver you'll see in IAME Cadet this weekend is Ellis Stephens. Ella joins me. Now, Ella's the Birrell Art champion from last season. How has that experience last year in the Birrell Art Championship helped you this season coming into Super 1? It's a big leap, I know, but how do you think that helped you last year, last few years, in fact?
I think it's helped me because, the overtaking and, getting used to doing well helps me.
And Super 1, how much of a leap has it been? Because obviously it is the top level in British motorsport, there's no doubt, in karting. How have you found that transition going from the one championship to the other?
I think it's a big leap, and I think Super 1 is rather hard for me.
And what would you think is going to be a good result for you at some point during this season? Are you looking for a top 10, I guess?
I'm hoping for a top 15 this year.
OK, well, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
2 names I rate very highly on IAME Cadet in 2018, Sam Shaw and Ellis Stephens. Lindblad and McIntyre are versus each other in the championship fight and on the front row in this race. Hall and Short, Slater and Clark, Carr and Phillips with Aidan Neat and Max Dodds rounding out the top 10. Keep an eye on Luke Watts, he'll be trying to charge through. Ellis Stephens has MJ Canini along with her. Luke Sindler and Hadi Mamassi have done well in the Evolve karts, and Harley Keeble will be charging through from the back. Plenty to talk about as we get ourselves underway, and it's a cracking start from the front of the field already as Lindblad is trying to shake off the attentions of McIntyre, and the Gladiator, Maximus Hall, has split them both as they go through Cafe Corner for the first time, through Pitts Bend and down the Stratford Straight up towards the hairpin. Arvid Lindblad leading Maximus Hall early doors. Cracking getaway from the 93. Oh, and there's contact in the hairpin. That is the 11 that's gone over. That is Oliver Wright. So Pineapple has gone end over end there. Unfortunately, Harley Keeble caught up in it, as too was the 31 of Alfie Baxter Davies, who's currently leading the championship in the club series at Shenington. And Luke Watts caught up in that as well. He's out of the race.
Yeah.
What a nightmare weekend he's had. Watts out. Keeble in trouble up the inside. That's Maximus Hall going for the lead, and Freddie Slater's gone with him. McIntyre's gone through as well. Is Sam Shaw going to make it 4 of them through? Lindblad trying to hang on to 4th position, but the Gladiator, Maximus Hall, has gone into the lead on the first lap of the second final here at Shenington. Not for long though. Back up the inside. Freddie Slater takes the lead for the first time this weekend. His fight back has been incredible, and now look, we've got Fusion 1 and 2, Slater and McIntyre. The team game's going to work out here as Shaw banzais up the inside and gets the place back on the 57 of Aidan Neat, who's had a cracking opening couple of laps. But this is an absolutely brilliant run from Freddie Slater up to the lead with Will McIntyre behind him. Now watch those two disappear out in front of the rest of the field. They're going to try and stretch out the gap to Lindblad.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. They try and work together. All action in the first couple of laps here. Jake Luke Watts was caught out coming out of Stratford hairpin. He ended up the bank on the 10 cart, unfortunately.
Ooh,
for Luke.
That's Max Dodds getting put out of shape there a little bit there and squeezed in the middle of the pack. So Max Dodds not having the greatest of weekends here, unfortunately. Just doesn't seem to have the same pace as his teammate Arvid Lindblad. Up to 4th position has come Sam Shaw in front of Aidan Neat. Then it's Brandon Carr, Maximus Hall momentarily in the lead, now down to 7th place. That is the championship leader, Arvid Lindblad, but it's critical that Slater and McIntyre are in front of them. I've got a feeling Slater did not have a great result in the earlier heats, and that's added to the misery that he had at Rowra, which basically has effectively put pay to him winning the championship this year. Now, there are 2 schools of thought he can go down here as he takes one look over his right shoulder. He's either going to work with McIntyre to ensure that a Fusion driver wins the championship this year, or he's not going to care one jot and he's just going to go for the victories.
I'll go for the latter there, Jake. It's Freddie Slater. He's not working with anybody. He's not really in the championship hunt. The championship points are updated live on your screen, top left, by the way, guys. If you look at them, and you'll see Slater down in 4th place now. He's too far behind to affect the championship, so he's just looking for wins this season, in my opinion. I don't think he'll work with his teammate behind him.
It's worth pointing out as well that Max Dodds has had a very disappointing weekend here as well. He's dropped an awful lot of points. You can see his tally is 904 if it finishes like this. That's 30 points back from Lindblad. That is a massive deficit with only,
huge.
3 weekends to go.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not really going to make that up very easily. He's got to hope that Lindblad and McIntyre have howlers, and then that's going to give him a chance to come back into it as well. But McIntyre, look, is already starting to have a look at Freddie Slater, and he needs to, because Arvid Lindblad is catching big style. Shaw in 4th position, having a great run. That is Ellis Stephens on the back of Harry Jr. Burgoyne. Both drivers charging their way through the field. Harry Jr. Burgoyne up 10 places off the start. Ellis Stephens, this weekend in particular, has been very strong. She is currently fighting to be the leading privateer with Ashton Hodgson, and she has really turned a corner this particular meeting. The last 3 or 4 weekends she's been pretty good for a privateer and a rookie, but this weekend she looks like she could even get up to the top 10.
Very softly spoken, very posh as well, Jake. I'm going to call her by her new nickname, Lady Ellis Stephens. Also doing well, Jake. Harley Horton made up 13 places in 16th. Finn McLaughlin's come from 28th to 18th, so he's made up 10 as well. So places being made up all the way down the field.
Yeah, Harley Horton's had a miserable day at the office and is making good headway to come back as Maximus Hall dives up the inside and takes the place from Brandon Carr, and that puts the leading rookie down to 7th position. Maximus Hall very much a contender for the victory, not just in this race, but most of the weekend, it has to be said. He's really stepped up his game here at Shenington. He's done a good job, and it's a shame that he's not really been able to put that sort of performance together on the timesheets. He's done a good job and is right up there towards the the sharp end on merit, trying to gain ground on the likes of Shaw and Neat in the hope that he can finish towards the top 4. A good run, as you mentioned, from Fionn McLaughlin. He's really struggled because he was about the same sort of pace as Sam Shaw in the early stages of the weekend. Then he got caught up in somebody else's incident, dropped all the way to the back. That's why he's had to fight his way through from the back. But he was definitely looking at an 8th or 9th place overall before that point. So it's no surprise to see Fionn McLaughlin charge his way forward.
Maximus Hall there in 6th place now, Jake. He was leading the race early on, set a purple sector in sector 1. Last time out, Brandon Carr's just set a purple sector there. Moving forward, I think he dropped places in the beginning. The leading rookie, Brandon Carr, in 7th place, setting purple sectors, and Hall now just set a purple sector once more in sector 1.
Well, just to give you an idea of how difficult this weekend has been for Max Dodds, as up the inside goes Maximus Hall and Brandon Carr to take on Aidan Neat. The Gladiator through into P5. Great to see him moving his way forward. Max Dodds losing an awful lot of points. Where is he, the number 3? There he is. So he's just in there in front of Ellis Stephens, who's currently battling away with the Canadian Hadi Mamasi. Now, there was only 4 points between him and his teammate Arvid Lindblad coming into this weekend. So now the gap is 30 points. Well, no, the gap is 29 points. So that gives you an idea of just how much Max Dodds has lost this weekend. And that basically makes this a two-way fight.
Yeah, and he started in P10, Jake, and you would have thought P10, expected to see him moving into the top 3 or 4 very quickly in the first few laps. But he's actually lost a place. He's down to 11th, so he's having an absolute nightmare.
He's not had his normal pace. Something is not quite right here at Shenington. For whatever reason, we expect him to be charging at the front end with his teammate Arvid Lindblad, but Lindblad is under pressure from the current British Sim Racing Esports Championship leader at Super 1, Sam Shaw, who is now in 4th position all over the back of Arvid Lindblad. And do you know what? Considering where he started the season, Sam Shaw, he's doing an absolutely fantastic job. You've got to take into account the fact that, you know, this is a Sim Racing Esports Championship, and it's the virtual series. He's actually really starting to make massive gains as a result of having it. He told you earlier, you know, I'm learning the lines better, I'm making improvements, I'm learning the tracks. It definitely does seem to be helping Sam because he's making gains every single time we come out to play.
Yeah, doing well, no doubt about it. Sam Shaw, as he goes through the line this time, it's slated from McIntyre, Lindblad, Shaw. Maximus Hall's back up to 5th now, made another place up on that lap. Brandon Carr's up to 6th, the leading rookie. There he is, that's his information as he comes out of Stratford Hairpin, down runway into the chicane.
To be fair, Brandon Carr's weekend has been pretty mighty in terms of the comeback. Well, there's the 10 of Watts making his way back through the field at the expense of MJ Canini, who goes over the curbs on the exit of the Stratford Hairpin. So Luke Watts up to 23rd now as he charges his way further forward. Still Freddie Slater and Will McIntyre battling away. Now that is backing these 4 into a corner. Lindblad, Shaw, Maximus Hall and Brandon Carr, and they're going to battle their way for 3rd position. Now, what is Freddie Slater going to do? Is he going to keep the lead, or is Will McIntyre going to get a few more points to get that deficit in the championship down? Because at the moment, the gap between Lindblad and McIntyre is 9 points if it were to stay like this. Now, if he were to take the lead away from Freddie Slater and move up another position, that would take the championship gap from 9 points to 7 points.
Yeah, exactly, 2-point difference, and he will want. You might think it doesn't sound a lot at this stage, but we've had championships won by a point in the last 10 years, Jake, haven't we? So these points are absolutely vital, particularly in this particular class. It can go all the way to the wire, and I'm expecting it to go all the way to the wire between McIntyre, Lindblad. Dodds not completely out of it, but he needs to make up places, and he's still down in 11th.
Yeah, he's really struggling. He's got so much pressure at the moment from Hadi Mamasi and Ellis Stephens, who are giving him a real hard run for his money. Now, up the inside, that is Archie Clark coming through. Now, that's another name I want to mention. Archie Clark is having a stellar weekend.
He is. Maxwell Dodds isn't, though, Jake. He's just lost another 2 places on that lap. He's now 13.
Yep, Mamasi and Stephens have got through. Archie Clark, by the way, is in the top 10 for the first time in his Super 1 career. Let's not forget that last year he was the MSA Bambino champion, and he is right up there at the front end of Super 1. You can argue, yes, he's in at Fusion as he battles with Leo Robinson, but that's not the point. He's a Bambino champion from last year. He's come straight in to the National Super 1 Championship in 2018, and he is fighting for top rookie honours. That's brilliant.
Maximus Hall makes up another place there on Sam Shaw.
And that's P4.
Lindblad in 3rd place. Got a little bit of a gap now over Maximus Hall, but I think Hall, he fancies a podium here, no doubt about it.
Four Fusion drivers battling for the lower positions of the top 10. Neat, Phillips, Robinson and Clark. And then we've got Mimasi, Ellis Stephens and Max Dodds, who's struggling to hang on in front of Harley Horton at the moment, who's making a good comeback drive. Then it's Barrow, Burgoyne, Rippin, Luke Watts up to 18th now from Hodgson, and Alfie Baxter-Davies caught out earlier on, of course, Alfie Baxter-Davies.
Yeah, and Luke Watts. That's a great recovery drive by Luke Watts. He hasn't had a hissy fit. He's just got his cart back on. Bear in mind, he was pointing up the bank.
Yes,
coming
he was.
out of Stratford hairpin at one point earlier on.
Ellis Stephens up to 11th place now, just one away from the top 10. Only 4 Fusion carts ahead of her, stand between her and the top 6. What a run this is. And up the inside, Arvid Lindblad makes his way back to 4th position, having dropped back. So Lindblad was down in 5th position at one point then. Maximus Hall now 3rd, and he's got past his teammates Brandon Carr. Well, no, sorry, Brandon Carr went back past with Shaw. So at one point, Shaw had got up to 4th position on that lap. Now he's got to try and charge after them. Really exciting battles here at Shennington. I do love to call this place the Monza of British karting, and looking at these pictures from the drone, you can see why. Those long sweeping straights into those tight twisty chicanes. This is one of the toughest racetracks in the calendar for brakes, because you're obviously flat on the throttle all the way down those long straights, then into heavy braking zones, particularly here for Bruno Chicane, and then into the final hairpin at Wilkins. You're going incredibly quickly, and then you have to slam on the brakes here at Wilkins, keep the car nicely balanced all the way through. Lindblad up on the curbs and through past Maximus Hall and his teammate Brandon Carr trying to come through into 3rd position as well. Brilliant race battle and racecraft from the ORM karts.
Yeah, great opportunist driving. You're talking about the brakes there, Jake. I'm not sure these guys in these karts are particularly on the brakes going into
not as much,
the start of the chicane, that's for sure. They might be in the middle of it. Archie Clark, you were talking about earlier, Jake.
Contact between the 2 Fusion karts. Did you see that?
I did.
They actually nudged each other there as Freddie Slater was moving to cover the line. McIntyre went into the back of his teammate.
There was definitely some contact, and not of the alien kind either. That was real stuff for the leading drivers. Don't forget, guys, please like, subscribe and share. Click the bell to get notifications each time we upload new videos to the YouTube channel.
So is that a statement of intent then from Will McIntyre, basically knocking on his teammate's door? Come on, let me in. I'm fighting for the championship. You're not. And Sam Shaw up the inside of Brandon Carr. Maximus Hall's already got through. And they're battling away together. Look, Freddie Slater's got Will McIntyre all over the back of him there.
That's
I wonder,
right.
is that McIntyre saying, come on, Freddie, you're not in the championship. Let me through.
Yes.
I can win the championship. You can't.
He's never letting him through, and we're on
Look
the
at
last
this.
lap, Jake.
They are battling away, and McIntyre goes out wide. McIntyre's now going to try and run round the outside of the Stratford hairpin and get up the inside. I think you're right. Slater not giving him an inch. McIntyre now getting him on the exit. Surely that's enough in the chicane. Slater's going to try and get there. McIntyre's going to squeeze him. Beautiful driving from McIntyre. That was one of the most exciting moves you could possibly make at that point. And now he's holding Slater at bay. Keep him back. Keep him back. This is brilliant.
Marshall tells him to get back on the track. He was going straight into the Marshall hut.
Well, there's McIntyre coming through, and with Lindblad battling for 3rd position on the final lap, he could be within 4 points of the championship lead as they come across the line.
Lindblad's
McIntyre
lost
wins
places.
it, but Lindblad, where's he going to end
He's
up?
fifth.
5th position. 5th position for Lindblad. Now that means the championship fight. Look, it's only 4 points the gap. That is an amazing run heading to the next round of the championship. Goodness me. McIntyre wins it from Slater, Hall, Shaw, Lindblad, Carr, Phillips and Neat. The leading rookie is Brandon Carr. The leading privateer is Ellis Stephens. Fantastic. But McIntyre with victory and Lindblad with 5th has tightened this championship up. A great race to kick us off. Well, McIntyre, that was such a tough final, but you and Freddie managed to get a gap and get away. Great teamwork, I guess.
Yeah, it was really good. Freddie drove really well up front, but I managed to get that move done. Thank you to Jack on iZone for showing me that. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have got that move done.
Well, now you're only 9 points back in the championship. Yes, for the last few rounds, this really is game on now.
Yeah, with Freddie pushing me, it's going to be a really tough for Arvid. But hopefully, if we carry on doing what we're doing, it'll just be a really good.
And the support here has been absolutely fantastic. There's so many people who have helped you get to this point.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank, for the thank yous, I would like to thank Fusion Motorsport, my mechanic Reese Wade, my mum, my dad, my little sister, Granny coming from Spain, my Uncle Eamon and Auntie Carol, Shocks, and Emma Reese-Wade, my mechanic's wife, for supporting me, and Ruby and Roman, Emma's little kids, and thank you everybody so much. This is great.
And ragtag bobtail and all. Nice one, Will. Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
Is it now a two-way fight for the championship between Lindblad and McIntyre? Certainly looking that way. Dodds and Slater are trying to play catch-up, with Aidan Neat currently best of the rest. Next up, Mini X30.